Earlier today, we finally got the news. Bethesda laid out what to expect from the Fallout 4 Next Gen update and even when you can expect it to come out. As Fallout 4's Next Gen update is going to be dropping on basically all platforms in 2 weeks on April 25th. And that isn't the only thing dropping. The price of the shirt is too, and you get 10% off right now for yourself with code NEXTGEN, links down below. The Fallout 4 Next Gen update is really broken up into two separate sections. On one hand, you do have the Next Gen update itself, some improvements for console users, as well as fixes and stability changes, but then separately, it's also effectively coming with a free DLC in the form of a bunch of unreleased Creation Club content and even some repackaged Creation Club content. The update's going to be free for everyone, but depending on how exactly you're playing the game, you'll have different aspects of the update available to you. Firstly, there's the proper Next Gen update. This is only coming to Xbox Series S and X, as well as the PS5. So now those consoles will have a new performance or quality mode setting. They don't really share a ton of details on what exactly this will be, but they make it clear that it'll be up to 60 FPS. And what I take that to mean is you'll likely be able to play at a higher resolution at 30 FPS or at a lower resolution at 60 FPS and switch in between the two as you want to. I'm sure for some of you playing on the next gen consoles, especially on the Xbox side, are a bit confused because you're probably like, wait, I can already play Fallout 4 at 60 FPS. But what is perhaps the biggest change around all of this is Fallout 4 is also going to be running natively on the PS5 and Xbox Series. So instead of it using backwards compatibility to run an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 game on the new console, Fallout 4 will basically now have a PS5 or Xbox Series version. And this too will likely lead to a nice bump in performance and stability. So although it still may only be 60 FPS, hopefully this is a more stable and smooth 60 FPS compared to what you have right now. But beyond just some of the next gen benefits, there's also just going to be a general update to the game, which will benefit players on PS4 and Xbox One. It described how Fallout 4 will receive a free update with general stability improvements as well as login and quest fixes. So it seems like a lot of those changes will apply to all of the various platforms, likely coming to PC as well, although they technically don't say that here. But there also are some PC specific things like widescreen and ultra widescreen support, likely referring to 21:9 and 32:9, which is a really nice add-on. Obviously you could already do this with mods, but it's always nice to get it natively. There's going to be a fix for the Japanese and Chinese language versions of Fallout 4 on PC, as right now they can't actually access the mods section consistently, but that'll be resolved with this update, as well as Fallout 4 will be Steam Deck verified as this next gen update does ship. So in Steam Deck, you'll hopefully get a bit of a boost to performance. And that's really it as far as the update side. Obviously we have the mini free DLC also, but I imagine a lot of you are probably at least somewhat disappointed because there's really two major things a lot of fans were hoping for from this update that it definitely doesn't have. Firstly, many users just wanted there to be a disconnect from FPS and physics. So you're able to freely play Fallout 4 at high frame rates natively and not have everything in your world also speed up or slow down depending on your FPS. Unfortunately, that isn't coming here. On PC, you could already do this with mods, so not a huge issue though. And really the biggest missing thing I know many people were hoping for was a mod space increase. Right now on consoles, you're only actually able to download 2 GB of mods maximum, which effectively cuts you off of a ton of really cool mods. It doesn't seem like that's going to be changed, and unfortunately in the past Bethesda described how in order to increase the mod limit, they would have to reset everyone's mod load order, so it's likely something that'll never come. But at the same time, some of the stability improvements coming from the next gen update are going to be game changing for console users. Right now, downtown Boston is causing major problems on the Xbox Series S and even the PS5 to a lesser degree. You can find tons of reports of people basically not being able to play for extended durations in downtown Boston because they'll just start crashing from the game outright. I have to imagine that with this update, that'll be one of the things that you'll see a dramatic improvement with. Probably a lot less crashing due to some of those stability improvements and it running natively. And even on PS5 right now, there's a bit of a unique problem where all of the DLCs for Fallout 4 are downloading without their textures. So you'll just have a bunch of pink icons and items, and hopefully this update will resolve that as well. It seems like this was a bug to just pop up in the past week or so. But like I mentioned before, that is very much so just one half of this overall update. On the other side, we are effectively getting a free DLC in the form of newly released Creation Club content. What I see a ton of people getting excited for, and perhaps a little bit too excited, is Echoes of the Past. This will be a new Enclave quest added into the Commonwealth, and it's described how we will be tasked with stopping the Enclave from spreading their dangerous ideology and gaining a foothold in the Commonwealth. And effectively, it'll be a stuff pack. So to go along with this quest, there's going to be a bunch of new Enclave items added. Most of this being previously released Enclave content in Creation Club. So these 2 power armors, as well as these 2 weapons, will be added to everyone's game for free, as well as a bunch of Enclave skins for your various weapons and armors. All of that has already released from Creation Club in the past, and is just going to be repackaged to go along with this quest, and again, if you've never purchased this, it'll just be added to your game for free. But we're also getting 2 totally new items with an Enclave Colonel uniform, as well as new workshop items, likely being several of these objects you could see in the background of many of these images. But I do very much so want to keep expectations in check here, because I see a lot of people getting a bit too hyped for this Enclave quest. Very specifically right off the bat, a lot of people are describing this as a quest line, while Bethesda only describes this as a quest, so I would expect just one singular quest. And when it came to past Creation Club quests, many of these were just told via notes and terminal entries. Adding in voice work is a monumental task, because this is going to be an official Fallout 4 update. They would need to translate that voice work into all of the various supported languages, which is a lot. That's a lot of additional voice actors. I don't know for a fact that that isn't going to be a thing here, but I think the safe bet would be that this is going to be a singular, relatively simple quest with a couple of terminal entries as well as a few notes you could find, with the bulk of the content being around taking down a couple of enemies who likely are using some of these new Enclave pieces of armor or weapons. And honestly, if you're on PC, just download America Rising 2. It's a full-fledged Enclave questline that does hook into the main story of Fallout 4 and is personally one of my favorite mods. And in general, even though this is probably going to be a relatively simple quest, I really do like the concept of repackaging a bunch of the older content around a quest to make it more engaging and a more fun way to actually unlock these new items. Plus, the fact that they're actually adding a lot of this Enclave content into the base game of Fallout 4, because it'll be added to everyone's game for free, likely means modders will be able to take advantage of this and even incorporate some of this content into their own mods, which is always nice to see. The makeshift weapon pack is easily the coolest of the new things they teased. It's going to be a variety of unconventional weapons made out of everyday items, like a leaf blower that was turned into a launcher of some kind, a weaponized but also energized nail gun with a scope that is made out of PVC pipe, what almost looks like a flamer that is made out of old bicycle parts, and even a new way to launch piggy banks from your Fat Man. And that piggy bank Fat Man's really cool because it seems to indicate that this will not just be new weapons, but also new mods for existing weapons. And I do wonder if that applies to other things as well. In the final image on this article, you could see that same piggy bank Fat Man mod, but also somebody wearing a dye TV on their head in power armor. That almost seems like it might be another addition as part of this makeshift pack, where maybe you're just getting some makeshift types of armor implemented into the game as well. But overall, to me, this makeshift weapon pack is awesome. It's exactly the type of thing I hoped Creation Club would add in the past. And again, just like with the Enclave stuff, the fact that it's getting added for free to everyone's game is really cool, because hopefully other mod authors can build off of this one, maybe adding additional content or even more mods to some of these weapons. And even if Bethesda doesn't do it, modders will certainly implement these weapons into the level lists of other NPCs, so you'll have a Commonwealth with more NPCs using makeshift content, which is really cool to me. There's going to be a Halloween-themed workshop pack as well that'll include 38 new Halloween decorations, including things like witches, cauldrons, ghouls, and more. And that's it, at least probably. One of the curious aspects of this is I definitely know there was more Creation Club content created that went unreleased that isn't featured in this article. So there might be 1 or 2 other items that end up getting added in, or perhaps this really is everything and those other items were just not added for one reason or another. But overall, a relatively minor and simple but free DLC for Fallout 4, and I can't really complain about more free new content. It's pretty cool. But of course, the other major aspect of this update to keep in mind is breaking mods. Based off of what was described in this article, the main mods you need to worry about breaking are PC mods, and really those specifically relying on the Fallout 4 script extender. Whenever Fallout 4 gets an update and really the EXE gets an update, the script extender will break. And there is kind of a dichotomy here where the fact that the next-gen version ended up being relatively minor without kind of crazy or engine-level fixes, like with that physics tied to FPS change a lot of people are hoping for, the fact that we didn't get changes like that likely means that many mods will be able to update relatively quickly. But at the same time, the larger issue for a lot of mods updating is the mod authors might be gone. There are a ton of mods, probably several of which you're using right now for Fallout 4, where the mod author may have quit modding a couple of years ago. Fallout 4 is a pretty old game now, and we haven't seen any updates for this game in nearly 5 years. So there's definitely going to be a bit of a mini mod apocalypse following this one, where Fallout 4 on PC gets an update, a ton of mods are broken. That's just going to take some time for either mod authors to return or the community to actually patch and update those mods. And there's one very big consideration when it comes to all of this, as Fallout London is releasing just 2 days before this next-gen patch. Fallout London right now is effectively a new game-sized mod for Fallout 4. It is almost certainly going to be breaking with the next-gen patch. And honestly, what I would recommend doing is just doing a fresh install, downloading Fallout London, whatever mods you want, and then disabling auto update and just playing Fallout London while you wait for some of the other mods to get updated to the new next-gen version of Fallout 4. But just keep that in mind. If you want to play Fallout London and don't feel like dealing with downgrading your game, make sure you download everything before the next-gen patch releases. I'll save my full impressions on this update until it drops, but I definitely think a lot of people are going to be a bit disappointed just because it's a bit more minor than many were hoping for. For most people on the PC side, this will likely just end up being more of an inconvenience than anything. Lots of mods are going to break, and a lot of people will be waiting for mods to update, and there's even going to probably be a bit of a split in which version of the game people use going forward. Do you stick to the old version before the patch, or some will switch to the new version after the patch? Some of those new fixes will likely be nice for PC users, but a lot of these fixes are already addressed by free mods on PC. Conversely, when it comes to console users, this could genuinely be game-changing and worth a completely new playthrough of Fallout 4. Specifically if you're playing on Xbox One or the Series S, I think this will really be a notable improvement. You'll likely notice far less crashing, far more stability, and just addressing a lot of those lingering issues that you could find tons of posts talking about. To me, some of the free new DLCs are really cool, specifically that makeshift weapon pack I love, and I'm happy we're seeing a lot of this content release. Many of these things were actually made by mod authors you probably know about in the community, and they've just kind of been sitting there collecting dust this whole time. No other updates ended up coming to any of those other Fallout games like we speculated about, and honestly I don't know if they ever are. Maybe just nothing's happening on that front. Although, if you are interested in a DLC-sized mod you could download for Fallout 4 right now, check out this video.